Switzerland, where time moves gently, like the mist drifting between mountain peaks. Beyond its famed lakes, snowy summits, and postcard villages, lies another Switzerland, one that breathes through rhythm, color, and tradition. Here, every season carries a story. When spring awakens, Basel glows under lanterns of Fasnacht. In summer, Zurich dances to the flames of Sechseleuten. And the sound of alphorns echoes through the green valleys of Nendaz. Autumn paints the mountains gold, welcoming herds home in Alpabfahrt and chestnut fires in Ascona. Winter arrives with laughter and light from Bern's Onion Market to Geneva's torches of Escalade. Each festival is more than a celebration. It is a heartbeat, a reminder that beauty in Switzerland is not just seen in its landscapes, but felt in the way its people keep history alive. Through every sound, every color, and every flame, Switzerland tells its story quietly, profoundly, and eternally. As winter loosens its grip, Basel awakens to a rhythm older than memory. The Rhine, gliding beneath stone bridges, mirrors the flicker of anticipation. Then, at precisely 4 in the morning, the lights vanish and the city blooms in darkness. From every alley, lanterns rise like painted moons, each a masterpiece of satire and wit. The sound of piccolos pierces the chill, weaving with the deep heartbeat of drums. Cliques march through narrow streets, faces hidden behind intricate masks, jesters, kings, spirits of mischief. For 72 hours, Basel becomes a living theater, where art mocks power and laughter redeems the soul. The tradition, born centuries ago to chase away winter and mock authority, endures as Switzerland's grandest carnival. Beneath the chaos lies philosophy that in confronting darkness through color, sound, and laughter, we reclaim our light. Basel's Fastnacht is not a spectacle. It is catharsis, a reminder that joy, when shared, becomes resistance. Deep in the Bernese Alps lies Löwenthal, a secluded valley where ancient traditions still live. Each winter, as the cold lingers and nights stretch long, the valley awakens to its most mysterious celebration, the Chagata Festival. When darkness falls, the silence is broken by the clang of cowbells echoing across the slopes. Out of the shadows appear figures cloaked in fur, their faces hidden behind grotesque wooden masks' wild eyes. sharp teeth, tangled hair, and horns. These are the Chagata, spirits of winter who roam the snow-covered streets to chase away evil and welcome spring. They move through the villages, chasing onlookers, smearing soot, and laughing loudly, filling the cold night with noise and mischief. For locals, this isn't fear, it's freedom, a moment to release tension after long months of isolation. The custom dates back to pagan times, when people believed that loud sounds and fearsome disguises could drive out dark spirits. Each mask, hand-carved from pine and passed down through generations, is unique. Secrecy remains essential. No one must recognize the person behind the mask. Today, the Chagata festival stands as the living heart of Luchental, a wild, joyful reminder that even in a land of order and precision, the Swiss Alps still keep a place for mystery, laughter, and the untamed spirit of winter. In Zurich, spring doesn't simply arrive, it erupts in color and flame. The air is crisp, laced with the scent of lake water and budding chestnut trees. On the third Monday of April, time itself seems to turn backward, as the city revives a 16th century guild ritual known as Sechsläuten, the 6 o'clock ringing. Back then, the tolling of church bells signaled that longer daylight had returned, allowing workers to end their day earlier. Today, the festival unfolds as a grand procession through the Old Town Guild members in velvet tunics and feathered hats, brass bands shimmering in sunlight, horses adorned with ribbons. All lead to the burning of the Bug, a giant snowman effigy packed with fireworks. When its head bursts in flame, the crowd erupts in cheers. For legend says a quick explosion means a warm, bountiful summer. Beneath the laughter and fire, Zurich celebrates renewal, the eternal dialogue between winter and light, labor and joy, endurance and hope. At dawn, mist drifts lazily through emerald valleys, wrapping wooden chalets in a silver hush. From somewhere unseen, a voice rises pure, tremulous, echoing across the peaks, answered by another and another, until the mountains themselves seem to sing. This is the Swiss Yodeling Festival, held every 3 years, where hundreds gather to honor an art older than words. Yodeling was once the shepherd's call, a melody that bridged one mountain to another when silence ruled the highlands. Now, it has become a living emblem of belonging, an echo of home. Men and women in embroidered vests and bright skirts stand shoulder to shoulder, their songs weaving through pine-scented air. Each note holds both strength and longing, the heartbeat of generations who have learned to speak with the land. As the sound fades, only the rustle of wind remains, gentle as breath. Here, music is not performance. It is communion, a dialogue between soul and stone, between humanity and the eternal Alps. In the heart of Valais, where snow-kissed peaks embrace green meadows, the village of Nendaz awakens each July to a sound that feels ancient as the wind. The International Alphorn Festival gathers hundreds of musicians, their long wooden horns arcing skyward like extensions of the land itself. Once, the Alphorn was the shepherd's lifeline, a call across the valleys, a signal through fog, a melody shared with the mountains. Today, its deep, resonant tone still stirs the soul. As the sun climbs above the Alps, music unfurls across the slopes, warm, solemn, alive. The notes drift through the morning air, mingling with birdsong and the scent of wildflowers, until they vanish into cloud and echo. For the people of Nendaz, this is more than a performance. It is remembrance, a way of breathing with the earth, of thanking the mountains that cradle their lives. In each reverberation lies a promise that even in stillness, Switzerland sings. On the first day of August, Switzerland awakens in a chorus of bells and bonfires. From the tranquil lakes of Ticino to the wind-brushed peaks of Uri, Swiss National Day unfolds like a symphony of unity. The tradition harks back to 1291, when 3 Alpine cantons pledged an oath of alliance, the birth of the Swiss Confederation. As dusk descends, the red and white flag ripples in the twilight, and mountains glow with firelight, recalling the signal beacons of old. Families gather beside lakes. Children carry lanterns shaped like stars. Alphorns echo through the valleys. The air hums with laughter, the scent of bread and melted cheese, the pulse of shared belonging. Fireworks blossom above mirrored waters, scattering reflections of light and memory. Yet beyond the spectacle, the night carries something quieter, the heartbeat of a people bound not by empire, but by trust, endurance, and the promise of peace. In these flickering flames, Switzerland does not celebrate victory, it celebrates togetherness. When the warmth of summer begins to fade, and the first chill brushes the air, the Swiss valleys awaken to the melody of bells. This is Alpubfahrt, or Des Alpes, In the French-speaking cantons, a centuries-old tradition marking the cattle's return from Alpine pastures to the villages below. Along winding mountain paths, herds descend in procession, each cow crowned with garlands of wildflowers, ribbons, and carved wooden emblems. Their bells ring in deep, rhythmic harmony, echoing against cliffs and forests. Farmers, dressed in embroidered vests and crisp white shirts, walk proudly beside them, their faces sun-browned, their pace steady, their hearts full. Villages burst into celebration stalls of cheese and honey, the scent of roasted chestnuts, alphorns calling from afar. The day is both farewell and thanksgiving, a tribute to nature's generosity and the labor that sustains it. In every step, every sound, lies reverence, a gentle acknowledgement that life, like the seasons, always returns home. As November deepens and mist drifts over the Are River, Bern awakens to one of its most beloved traditions, Zibbelemarit, the onion market. On the fourth Monday of the month, the capital transforms overnight into a living tapestry of color, scent, and laughter. From dawn, farmers from nearby villages arrive with carts laden with onions braided into intricate garlands, laced with dried flowers and ribbons. The air fills with the aroma of onion tarts, roasted nuts, and mulled wine. The cobblestone streets hum with chatter and music. Children toss confetti that glimmers in the pale winter light, and the old town with its arches, fountains, and clock towers seems to smile. The market dates back to the 15th century, born from gratitude after a plague, when Bern's people celebrated survival through community and harvest. Today, Zibbelemarit is more than a market. It is a love letter to resilience, to warmth in cold seasons, and to the quiet joy of gathering together. In the heart of winter, when the chill of Lake Leman drifts through the cobbled streets of Geneva, the city transforms into a living stage of history. Every December, the Fête de l'Escalade rekindles the spirit of 1602, the night Geneva triumphed against the invading Duke of Savoy. The echo of drums and the gleam of torches breathe life into the past soldiers in gleaming armor, women in bonnets, children running with laughter. Lanterns flicker on stone walls as citizens, clad in 17th century attire, march through the old town. At every corner, the sweet scent of chocolate marmite, A pot-shaped confection filled with marzipan fills the air, symbolizing the cauldron that legend says a brave woman used to defend her home. Firelight dances on the faces of spectators, merging pride with nostalgia. For the people of Geneva, Escalade is not just remembrance, it is gratitude made visible. Courage made sweet, and history kept alive through warmth, laughter, and the shared taste of victory. When October drapes the southern valleys of Switzerland in amber light, the lakeside town of Ascona, in Ticino, becomes a poem in motion. The Chestnut Festival, Festa delle Castagne, fills its narrow lanes with warmth and laughter. Chestnuts were the bread of the poor, a gift from the forests that sustain generations. Today, they return each autumn as a symbol of gratitude. Beneath the arcades of the old town, copper pans glimmer, roasting chestnuts until their shells crack with a soft sigh. The air smells of smoke, caramel, and pine. Locals and travelers gather beside Lake Maggiore, sipping new wine, listening to folk songs that echo between pastel facades and quiet water. Stalls offer chestnut cakes, honey, and handmade crafts, every flavor steeped in memory. The mountains beyond stand like silent guardians, their slopes fading into gold. In Ascona, the festival is not just about harvest. It is about belonging, a slow, glowing reminder that joy often grows from the simplest seeds. High in the Appenzell Alps, where clouds drift lazily across the jagged peak of Santis, the meadows of Schwegalp come alive each August with the rhythm of earth and tradition. This is Schwegalp Schwinget, the great festival of Schwingen Swiss wrestling, a sport as old as the mountains themselves. The air smells of pine and damp grass. Alphorns call across the valley like ancient horns of honor. In a circular ring of sawdust, men in woolen breeches clasp hands, lock eyes, and begin the dance of strength. Each throw is both grace and grit, watched by crowds cheering from wooden stands. Beyond the competition lies camaraderie, farmers, herders, and townsfolk celebrating endurance and respect. Families share bread, cheese, and laughter as music drifts through the Alpine air. The sunlight catches the dust, turning the arena golden. Here, in the heart of Appenzell, the mountain seems to breathe with the people, steady, proud, and timeless, a living echo of Switzerland's rugged soul. Each August, when twilight lingers long over Lake Maggiore, the quiet town of Locarno transforms into a realm of light and story. The Locarno Film Festival, one of Europe's oldest cinematic gatherings, turns Piazza Grande into an open-air cathedral of dreams. As night falls, thousands gather under the vast sky, their faces lit by the glow of the screen.
Me personally, I'm a very lovely, gentle man.
Behind them, the Alps rise like silent spectators. Before them, cinema unfolds vivid, intimate, alive. Since 1946, this festival has celebrated film, not as spectacle, but as soul, a meeting of creators, thinkers, and wanderers. The cobbled streets hum with conversation, cafes overflow with laughter, and the air carries the scent of espresso and rain. Awards are given, yet the true magic lies in the silence between reels when stories breathe, when art and audience merge. In Locarno, film becomes landscape, light becomes language, and the night itself seems to watch, holding its breath for the next scene. Each July, on the shimmering shores of Lake Léman, beneath the silver peaks of the Alps, the town of Montreux awakens to rhythm. The Montreux Jazz Festival, born in 1967, began as a humble celebration of jazz, yet over the decades, it has become a pilgrimage for music lovers around the world. As dusk settles, the lake mirrors a tapestry of light. Stages glow, guitars hum, and the first notes ripple across the water like whispers to the mountains. Legends have played here: Miles Davis, Nina Simone, Freddie Mercury, their echoes lingering in the night air. Streets brim with life. Cafes and terraces overflow with laughter, saxophones wailing softly into the breeze. Beyond genre, Montreux celebrates the essence of music itself: connection between artist and audience, between sound and silence, between the steady heart of the Alps and the fluid song of the lake. When the final chord fades, only the water continues to sing, carrying Montreux's spirit into dawn. The echoes of Switzerland linger: the hum of Alphorns, the laughter of village squares, the warmth of firelight against the cool breath of the Alps. Here, history is not a distant past, but a living presence. Each celebration, from mountain wrestling to lakeside jazz, carries the same gentle truth that joy is timeless, and tradition is a way of remembering who we are. The festivals of Switzerland do not simply entertain, they connect. They weave together people and nature, silence and song, mountain and memory. And when the last note fades over Lake Léman, Switzerland remains radiant, serene, and full of soul. Not just a land to visit, but a rhythm to return to, where time itself dances with tradition.